Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is all about setting up my planner for 2023 and making sure that I'm ready for all of my goals and the things that I want to achieve this year, so I wanted to bring you along. So let's just start by swiping over one page. Alternatively, you can just click up here at the home button and it will take you here to the template library. You can click on that anywhere in the planner. But today we are just going to focus on the Define Your Life section. So in here, there are a few different pages that will help us just get clear on our goals and what it is that we want to accomplish this year. So that being said, let's go ahead and click here, starting with the before and after page. So on this page, you can see it begins on January 1st. I recommend doing this on the 1st of January or anytime within like a week leading up to it, just not too far in advance is all. But here's a space to write about what you're currently proud of and what you've accomplished this year, what things have gone right for you. Next, what are the things that you want to accomplish in the upcoming year? What do you want to improve on? Then we have space to envision what you want your life to look like 1 year from now or 5 years from now, and really kind of try to visualize that, as it will help you when you do your vision board later. And then we can brainstorm a little more and think about the actions and habits that will help you achieve those things. What are some of those key steps that you need to take? These are going to come into play later when we do more specific goal setting. All right, so getting started here, I'm just going to write what I'm currently proud of. I feel like I made a lot of progress last year, and especially in the last 6 months with my mental health, work-life balance, growing my business, all kinds of things, and I'm really excited about that. So a lot of what I'm going to be writing about is going to relate to those things. And honestly, you guys have all been amazing in the growth of my YouTube channel, and I could not be more grateful for all of your support. You guys have helped me to feel motivated and inspired again. You guys have seriously inspired me so much. I've also been really proud of the habit I've built to continue learning, where I'm just consistently working on improving my iPad art and design skills, and that is a habit that I think is worth acknowledging. So at the beginning of each of these spaces, I'm just tapping the text box and dragging the blue dot out, adding in the text using the text tool, and then selecting all of the text and adjusting the line spacing. If you're in the text menu bar, you can find this by clicking the alignment tool. I try to use the lines that are on the page as guides and match them the best that I can. It can definitely take some time to do this and can be a bit of an annoyance, just being honest. You could also do individual text boxes if you prefer that, but then you'd have to worry about aligning those too. So totally up to you how you want to do this, but this just worked better for me. But I'm writing about the things that I want to improve this year and just kind of filling this all out. And right now I'm using the scribble feature that just turns my handwriting into text, which is nice if you really like that writing feel. I am a big fan of this, and I have my default set text to my cheeky collegian font, which I always link in the description. It's one of my best-selling fonts and definitely one of my personal favorites. Now here I'm going in and I'm using the dictation tool instead. So when you use the Apple Pencil and you tap on the screen at the bottom, there's a little menu bar and a microphone. So just tap that and speak instead of writing, and honestly, it's a major time saver. It can be a little bit finicky to get used to at first, especially if you want to enter new lines, but I personally really like this feature when I'm writing a lot of text, so you'll see me use it a fair bit in this video. Sometimes you do still have to go in and edit parts with your Apple Pencil by scribbling and changing something, or by tapping with your finger and going in and typing the text with the keyboard. And then I realized here that I had way too much text and it wasn't all going to fit on the lines. So what I did instead was I added one of my white square elements that you've seen me use in other videos. And I just added that in and resized it to cover up the lines here. And then I used the lasso tool on text only and just selected the text that was underneath that image, cut it, and pasted it back on top. And now I'm going through with the highlighter and coloring over all of the stars. It seems you can get a much better, much more precise doodle by using the highlighter tool to color outside the lines, and then just going in with the precision eraser tool, and you can just do that by tapping the eraser and making sure that it's on the precision setting. If you don't have that option, just look into updating your app, because for the longest time I wondered why I didn't have it, and it's just because I needed an update, so definitely check that out. So here I thought I was going to do the same thing with the highlighter, but then I was worried that I wouldn't like the way it might look if the different, pizza slices overlaid on top of each other. So instead I just went in with the pen tool and I scribbled in the different colors that I used in this planner just to kind of keep everything consistent. I'll link those hex codes down below if you're interested. And then I just went in and I colored all of these with a more kind of scribbled effect and adjusted the colors accordingly. And now that I'm thinking about this in editing, one way I could have done this would have been to color in one complete pizza slice all the way to the top with the highlighter, and then use that precision eraser to perfect that shape. And then you could just copy and paste it and rotate it around the circle, and then erase away all of the elements that you don't want. and then you could just go back in and select it and change the color too. So I'll probably try that in the future and let you guys know what I think. Each of these little lines is worth 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. So just kind of fill them in based on your satisfaction level in each of the areas. And then the goal is that by the end of the year, you have improved these different areas of your life through the different goals and things that you've set. So there's a monthly check-in on this in each of the monthly reviews. So I recommend doing this and seeing what it is that you're successfully working on and what you're letting slip by. I like having this little visual. It really helps me personally, but of course you do you. So now I'm just going to add in a photo. It would be preferable to add a photo from closer to the end of the year, but I really feel like 2022 changed drastically once I took this trip, and that started in July. So it was such a huge motivator for me to get productive, build new habits, feel inspired, and just improve my mental health. It's kind of like a new beginning for me, not to sound super dramatic, but it represents a lot of the happiness and satisfaction that I was able to achieve and kind of carry out through the rest of the year. So I think it's worth documenting this turning point, but maybe I'll change it later. Anyway, in this space, I'm going in and just brainstorming some of the areas that I want to improve in each of these categories. So I'm thinking about all the different pizza slices that I just colored in on the last page and figuring out what it is that I can do in order to increase my happiness levels or my satisfaction levels within those. So you can go ahead and really just start planning all this out, and I'll skip through a lot of this as I think you get the picture. But try to be somewhat specific, or, if you've already got some things in mind, of course, you can be really specific, but we will get further into more specific goal setting on the next page. So this page is mostly to at least just focus on brainstorming how it is you want to grow in these different areas, and then we can develop those more on the next page. And here I'm finally figuring out how to successfully use the dictation tool, and basically I'm just pressing the microphone, speaking one line, shutting the microphone off, pressing enter, and turning the microphone back on again. It sounds like a lot more work than it is, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. And it's definitely the most sort of streamlined way I've found of doing this. I found that just using the enter tool doesn't seem to work very well, so. You could also just speak all of it and then just go back when you're finished and add in the new lines. And then of course just going back in and fixing any mistakes that you see in there too. I think it would be really fun to put some stickers on this page, but that sounds like a project for future Tara. So now that the important part's done, let's go ahead and move on to the next page. I decided I wanted to write these ones down using my handwriting instead of a text. So I've just gone in and I have picked one of the goals to show you guys in this video, which is simply improving my sleep. And I don't really have dates to complete these things by. I'm going to focus on just listening to my body while I do this, but I'm just going to get specific on the types of things that I can do in order to improve my sleep and what that looks like for me. I was just watching an interesting video about how wanting to improve your sleep so much and worrying about all of these things that you can do actually makes it worse because it creates sleep anxiety. So I wanted to take that into consideration too and just think of all the ways that I could reduce my sleep anxiety and anxiety in general just by calming my mind and hopefully keeping myself from sort of self-sabotaging this goal. You can use the date option here too, depending on what goals you're setting. You definitely don't have to, but of course getting specific and setting SMART goals is one of the best ways to guarantee yourself success. So I've tried to include some very specific details in here, like the number of hours I need to sleep or how many minutes of activity or steps that I need to get within a certain time period, hours that I shouldn't be consuming food or beverages, things like that. Just trying to detail out what I can. But on this page, this is all about setting up routines. And basically what I did before filling out these routines, and I'll just insert a picture here, is I actually went through all of the different goals that I had and the things that I want to accomplish, and I created a sort of schedule for myself. So the first thing I did was I just listed out what my priorities were that were going to help me, and then I time blocked in a schedule for myself and made sure to leave time for my routines. And then from there, I prioritized what needed to be included within those routines based on the information from the last few pages. But the last thing for this video is just going to be creating my vision board. So in order to get images, I just browse through Pinterest or Unsplash. You can use your own photos, Instagram, wherever for inspiration. I mostly used Pinterest and Unsplash here, and I just saved a bunch of images to my camera roll. From Pinterest, I focused more on finding the sort of doodle artwork that related to my mindset and could be really great for some healthy reminders, and also some of the more motivational or dreamlike photos. And then I went into Unsplash and I picked more of the lifestyle type of photos that related to the goals and things that I want to achieve. And now I'm just going through and placing all of these images around. I found the easiest way to do this is just to pull up your Photos app side by side, and then you can just drag and drop each of these individual photos in there. And it can take a while depending on how much time you're spending, how many photos you have to include, but I think it's worth it in the end if you have a variety and you really take your time on this. And then if you have updated your iOS recently, you should have access to a really cool feature where if you just like long press on the photo, it will highlight the subject, and then you can just kind of drag it and put it on top of your photos. And it sort of looks like a little sticker, and I absolutely love it. So I did that with quite a few of the elements here and just stuck them on top. And I started to resize everything else that was underneath and rearrange them to build my vision board. The important thing here was just making sure everything was seen, and I did kind of group things together a little bit based on goals, but I still spread them out a little bit, so there's not a real rhyme or reason here for exactly where I've placed anything, but just what looked good. So for these, I've gone in now with the freehand cropping tool, and I'm just tracing around them to kind of make little stickers. They do end up behind everything because unfortunately they were pasted on first. So you can either make sure that you're pasting things in the proper order, or you can just tap on the image, cut it, and paste it again, and then I would freehand crop it. So as soon as you grab the photo, I would cut it and paste it and then go in and crop it. Just seems easier than potentially losing it behind all of the photos, which I definitely did a few times. But it was so nice to have these on top as these cute little motivational stickers that I had specifically included because they related so closely to a lot of my goals and my mindset that I'm trying to improve on this year. So can't recommend this enough. Absolutely love it. And it just really starts to feel like, you know, when you used to make those magazine collages as a kid. These were so much fun, and I think it's so beautiful. I love being able to sort of recreate that in digital form. And then you'll see in the end here what I did. It's probably what I should have done at the beginning, is just to remove that vision board title. So what I did was I selected everything that was on this page and I cut it. And then I went into my elements and I added that white little box and resized it to cover up the words vision board. And then I pasted everything that I had just selected and deleted back onto the page. And there you go, that's it. I'm honestly really happy with how this turned out, and I think it serves the exact purpose that I wanted it to. And I just couldn't be happier with these hand-drawn little elements from these beautiful artists all over Pinterest. Honestly, so many of these doodled quotes fit so perfectly into my goals that I don't even know if I could have done them better myself. They spoke to my soul, and I love it. But yeah, there's my vision board. I'm very happy with this. The last thing in here is just for me to add any important dates that I already know about, as well as adding in birthdays, but I'll do all of this off screen later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you all have tons of fun with your new planners, setting them up for 2023 and getting ready for the year. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please consider giving it a like and subscribing for more videos like this each week. That is all for now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!